Hello everyone and welcome back for the GT Sport race here at Gavra Racing. You are joined by me, ex-Natty G, and my co-commentator as always,
Cryptech, and we are back for round 6 at Autopolis International Circuit at Japan.
And like you say, round 6, we've reached the halfway stage in the league. I already had 6 races, 6 more to go, and like you mentioned, we are at Autopolis for this race, and we've got a few new drivers, one of them being Atomgrin. He is replacing Woody in today's race. You can see him there in the Toyota Dutchie's teammate for this one, and we've got a new driver as well, Fefe. He is in the Peugeot, the Danish driver, currently in 9th place, but is just about to start his flying lap, so it'll be interesting to see where he's able to put his Peugeot in this race, how he's able to perform. We've got the 15-minute quality, but after a few incidents in last week's amazing race, Epic will be in the pit lane for 5 minutes serving an LLP1, and so he'll be out in the last 10 minutes and we can see what times he's on.
This track is extremely difficult, especially the last sector.
Yeah,
and I feel sorry for Finn in that Ferrari because he's going to struggle with that.
Yeah, definitely. Finn in the very twitchy, lack of grip Ferrari. He'll struggle a little bit round this track. It might make up a few tenths in the first opening sector.
Right now, it's just drifting everywhere.
And it might be a struggle for him. He was leading the race last time out in Monza for quite a few laps actually, in that monumental battle. Highly recommend you check that out. But Atom's going to be the first one to set the lap, or a lap at least. He's on the soft tyres and has done 1 minute 45.1, but Finn goes 6 tenths quicker and a 44.4 on those soft tyres. So competitive lap from Finn. Ted 4 seconds behind, 1.96. I don't think that's a competitive lap from him. Might have made a mistake. But Daniel Gardenzi moves his way up into 3rd, 4 tenths behind Tim, 45.5, and Scouting Ninja comes across the line of 1 minute 50 on the medium tyres. So different strategies across the grid. It's going to be an interesting one for strategy. It could be a 1-stop or it could be a 3-stop, I've heard, I think. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do. Dutchie go.
Not doing such a bad lap for first quali lap.
Definitely, Dutchie going 800ths behind Finn, both on the soft compound tyre. Dutchie a 44.581. So a good lap from Dutchie, but he has gone 400ths purple in the first sector. The first sector being 2 corners, so it's not much technical. You know, you can't really gain too much time in the first sector, but I guess turn 1 is quite a blind corner, which you could make a fair bit of time on. And got Tiger and Toussaint, Woody as well, Wolfie as well. 3 drivers who currently haven't set a lap yet. On board with Toussaint now in the Aston Martin, currently 2nd place in the championship. Has finished 2nd in the past 4 out of 5 races, and hasn't picked up a win yet in this league. He's still looking for his first win. Came so close last time out in Monza, 800ths off his first win, but had to settle for 2nd. But he's come around the final corner now, and in the run up to the line sets a 45.2, a 10th behind Tim and 7 tenths off pole position. But we'll keep an eye on what his teammate does. Tiger Assassin behind Scouting Ninja goes into 4th place. And just those fine margins between him, Tiger and Toussaint. Between Tiger, Atom and Toussaint. Really close margins between those 3 guys.
Finn's doing really well in that Ferrari.
And somehow Finn has put his Ferrari on provisional pole on these soft tyres.
You can just hear the tyres drifting.
As Fefe improves on his lap. He goes into 9th place of 1 minute 52.4 in the Peugeot, as one of the new drivers joining us today. But who else is on a lap? I think Finn is still on the lap. I don't know how competitive it's going to be on those worn soft tyres. He's already done 3 laps on those tyres, and tyre wear with its elevation change is quite harsh around this track.
Yeah, it is. Could see a 2-stop or a 3-stop in today's race.
Yeah,
I think will make things interesting.
We might see more use of the medium or potentially even the hard compounded tyre, depending on what strategy these guys go for. We might see an aggressive, maybe a 3 or possibly a 4-stop strategy on the soft tyres if people go aggressive on them, or maybe a 2-3 stop on mediums, or a mix of compounds in this race. But Finn, 1.8 seconds off his best time. Maybe it's time to pit for fresh tyres for him. But Tim's come across the line to start his lap. There's Aston Martin into the pits. It's Toussaint for fresh tyres. And it's Atom actually on the super soft tyres, looking to set a really competitive time. Obviously the tyres that they enter quali in will be the tyres that they start the race on. It doesn't mean they can change compounds for the quali session, and Tim's actually gone 9 thousandths fastest in the first sector of anyone else, so we'll keep an eye on his lap.
I think on his first lap had Fifi in front of him for most of the time and did not help him at all.
And is anyone on a lap? I think Ted's on an out lap. FA is also on a lap. He doesn't improve. Ted's starting another lap now, but I believe Atim is on a flying lap. He's 100th of a second quicker in the second sector. Sorry. So let's see what he can do in his Toyota. He's got Finn behind him in the Ferrari, but I don't think he's on a flying lap at the minute. So Atim, known from the Super League in the F1 side of things, currently running in 3rd place, replacing Woody in today's race. So let's just see how well he does.
Yellow flag. See, it's Danielle round.
And Daniel Gardlenzi making a little bit of a mistake in the middle sector. He's just slowing down to allow traffic to go through, cars who are on a flying lap. And welcome everyone in the chat. As Tim now on those super soft tyres, where will he go? Improves on his lap by 5 tenths, but so close to Dutchy's time, only 500ths behind Play Dutchy, and a 10.5 off pole, or provisional pole that is, as Finn is into the pits for a fresh set of tyres.
Biffy and Ted. Biffy's getting in front of Ted's lap twice.
So unfortunate there for Ted. Down in sector 3, but Dutchy improves on his lap. I think Dutchy improved. Oh no, he didn't. Just on my screen, someone moved positions. I thought, oh, never mind. It's just probably me. But Dutchy currently in 2nd place, running a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1, but shouldn't losing too much time. And well, he's actually lost 2.5 tenths, so proving me wrong. We've got a few people in the run up to the line. Ted and Epic starting their laps. Ted on another flying lap, and I think Epic is on his first lap, or his first competitive lap at least. And into turn 1, hooking up the apex nicely. His teammate behind him is going to have a little bit of slipstream on this lap, a bit of dirty air as well. So Ted's just going to want to keep a little bit of a distance, as Ted actually goes purple by 3.5 tenths. So this could be a lap to look out. This could be a lap to look at by Ted. He's got his teammate in front, and Tiger as well, going purple as you say in the 2nd sector. Currently 7.5 tenths off pole, 6 tenths off Tim in front of him. So it's going to be interesting to see where he could put his Aston Martin. And Atom's into the pits. But what I was going to say before is Finn only doing 3 or 4 laps on those soft tyres, and already at about 25% worn. So he's going to struggle for tyre wear in the race. So we might see him do more stops, potentially medium runs, or quite a few stops on a softer compound potentially. But Tiger now coming through the final corner in his Aston Martin. Scouting Ninja improves, Tiger improves, but can improve on his position for now.
This is weird. Finn in a Ferrari in P1 at the moment.
As
Dutch can't do something like he just built the super softs.
As Wolfie moves up into 7th place, we've got 3 minutes left to go in the session. Epic and Ted are 2 drivers who are on a lap. Epic's in the run up to the line. Where will he go? Pole. He puts on provisional pole by 300ths of a second, and he's got his teammate Ted down in 9th. So Ted went purple in the first sector but couldn't convert it in the second and final sector, but Epic putting in a good lap to put it on provisional pole position. And Finn's also on a lap.
He's on the super softs.
And yeah, like I say, Finn on the super softs. I think Atom's also on a set of super soft tyres. As Finn approaching the final few corners, 18 of them on this circuit in particular. Through the long right-hander, turn 17. As he approaches the final corner, turn 18, a little left-hander. In the run up to the line, well, would he be able to improve in his time and go pole? Wow. So close, 200ths behind Epic, and might have enough time to get one more lap in, but those tyres are going to be quite worn, I would imagine, so he might not get the maximum amount out of his car. Scouting Ninja up to the line doesn't improve on his time either. He's a second off his personal best and pulls over to the side of the track. I think he might be calling it a day for now, with only a minute and a half left to go in the session. As Play Dutchy starting his lap as well. Wolfie also starting another lap. As you can see there, Scouting apologising to Toussaint about an earlier incident. Didn't see that. But it's really interesting to see the tyres that everyone's on. We've got the majority on softs or super softs, but we've got a few people on the medium tyres, as Dutchy's actually got rear right suspension damage. So I don't know where he got that from, but he's carrying on. So he probably won't improve on this lap. Meanwhile, there is someone going through the final corners now. If I can find who? Okay, it's Fefe going through the final corners and doesn't improve on his lap. He's on the medium tyres. Interesting strategy from him. We've got 30 seconds left to go. Toussaint and Tiger both on a lap as well. I think Scouting Ninja's on a lap. Finn's approaching the final corner now in the Ferrari. He's only 200ths off pole. Haven't seen how competitive this time is. Tim Atom though puts on provisional pole. Wow. Can Finn say anything about it? Not at the minute. But Tim puts it on provisional pole by 3.5 tenths to Epic. And Epic, I think, is on a lap. I think he's on a personal best lap, but I don't think it's quick enough for pole at the minute. I wish I knew who was on track and where everyone was. There's currently an Aston Martin up into the line. That's Toussaint now. Currently in 6th place. Will he improve? Doesn't improve on his time. Will Tiger improve? Tiger doesn't improve. Scouting Ninja doesn't improve either. Play Dutchy doesn't improve either. And Epic now on a lap. Wolfie though improves and moves himself up into 8th place in the Porsche. I think he's in. Wolfie in the Porsche moves his way up into 8th. Epic though coming through the final corners. Does he have anything to say to challenge Tim for pole? Not quite. And at him currently on provisional pole by 3 tenths. But Ted is on a lap. I don't think it's going to be an improvement for him. He's on very worn soft tyres, and Ted in the run up to the line is in 9th place. But I think there's someone else. It's Daniel Gardenzi. Can he improve in his 7th place? Can't quite improve on his time, but it's a really good performance from Daniel Gardenzi. Qualified at the back for his first race last week in Monza, and he's put it in 7th place here at Autopolis.
What a fast lap from him on his debut race as well. We
And
had a similar one like this last season with the Holland champion on his debut.
I was just going to say, there's a thing about debut drivers putting it on pole. Play Dutchy put it on pole on his debut, I think. And here is your starting grid then for today's race. Here at Autopolis, we got Atom on pole position for his first race, and this is going to have to be very quick. Epic in second, Finn in third, Play Dutchy in fourth, Tiger in fifth, Susain in sixth, Daniel Gardenzi in seventh, Wolfie in eighth, I think it was Ted in ninth, Scouting Ninja in 11th, and Fefe in 12th. 11th, sorry. I am so good. I'm glad I don't have to do 20 drivers like in F1, but anyway.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting race. I can feel it.
Rather than 5 red lights, I can see 3 lights on the right. I'm assuming they're the red lights. We have 1 red light for today's race here, round 6 at Autopolis. And it's the green light, it's go, go, go for round 6. And it's Finn. Finn's off to a really good start. Dutchy not off to the greatest starts, nor is Tiger. 2 cent jumping him off the start, but Finn's going to try and challenge Epic into turn 1. And Tim not getting off to the great starts. Down to 5th place from pole position. But Finn's trying to defend, attack Epic. Dutchy's not Dutchy, sorry, I'm getting the cars mixed up. I can't see Finn going round the outside of Epic, and he'll have the inside line for this right-hander at him though. Not off to the best of starts, down to 5th place. Dutchy now is going to try and challenge Epic into the long right-hander, as Dutchy's going to try and go round the outside. Can he hold it? He does hold it round the outside on those soft tyres. Meanwhile, Tim and Tiger having a little bit of a battle for 4th place as well. And Tim actually late on the brakes, looking to go down the inside of Tiger. He gets the front of his car in a really nice move from Tim. Down the inside, promotes himself up into 4th place after losing out on lap 1 from the start.
He would have known that the Ferrari would be leading this race.
And somehow he's done it again. Finn is leading this race in that Ferrari. I don't know how he's doing it, but he is. And it's currently leading. Dutchy in 2nd, Epic in 3rd, Tim in 4th, Tiger in 5th, 2 Saint in 6th, Wolfie in 7th, Ted in 8th, Daniel Gardenzi's dropped down to 9th place after starting in 7th, Scouting in 10th, and Fefe is in 11th place. But here comes Dutchy on an attack on Finn. This is for the lead of the race. He's tucking in the slipstream, right in the slipstream, and he's going to pull over to the right hand side for turn 1. He's going to try and go down the inside of the German into turn 1, and it's a good move and promotes himself up into the lead of the race. But Finn though will try and challenge back. He's going to go look for the inside line. Not close enough though to make a move just yet. As Daniel's actually got past Ted there. Daniel in the Audi promoting himself up into 8th place. At him now all over the back of Epic as well. This is for the final podium position. But Finn's kind of dropped off a little bit from Dutchy, only within 5/10 though. Meanwhile, here comes Tim at him on Epic. He's going to look for the inside, and he's going to try and go down the inside. Not quite close enough, but he's going to try and keep it down the inside, and he's tucking the slipstream behind Epic's Aston Martin. And we'll settle for 4th for the meantime. Stick with Epic and maybe try and get him down the start finish straight. And I'm not sure, but he seems to have dropped back 13 seconds. There might have been a spin or a collision with someone. I don't think anyone's got damage, but a few of the drivers at the back actually, Ted and Scouting Ninja on the medium tyres, Tiger and 2 Saint also on the medium tyres, everyone else on softs apart from Epic, who's going wheel to wheel with that him around the long right hander. Good move from Tim. Epic losing out there, and this would give Tiger the chance with the slipstream and a really good run to try and potentially see him move down the inside. Epic though in the slipstream of the Toyota. We know the Toyota struggles a bit in the straight line. Epic looks for it but doesn't go for anything down the inside just of yet. Finn sticking with Dutchy for the lead.
Tiger going to go down the inside of Epic. He's
And
going to send it. Oh, just pulls back around there.
And Tiger not quite close enough to make a move on the Aston Martin in front, as he's currently sitting in 5th place for now. Finn still 5/10ths behind Dutchy, and these two have actually built up a 3.5 second lead to Tim and Epic. So that battling between those guys have also cost them. As Fefe off into the gravel down at turn 3, I think that is. And he's driving quite an interesting car, the Peugeot. Probably not my first choice of car, to be honest, but you can just see we've got a bit of a train actually. Daniel Gardenzi at the back of it. You've got him, Wolfie, Toussaint, Tiger, Epic and Atim all kind of leading this train for first place, as Tim's actually built up a 1.1 second gap to Epic behind him. And he'll find himself under pressure from the BCMR drivers, Tiger and Toussaint. Currently sitting 4th, 3rd and 2nd respectively. So it's going to be good for these guys on each other, but Play Dutchy currently in the lead of the race and in the lead of the championship. It's currently under pressure from Finn. Finn now 4/10ths behind Dutchy on the down the start-finish straight. We might potentially see a move into turn 1. We'll ride on board, but he's not quite close enough to the Toyota yet. And going back to this battle kind of for 3rd place, Epic's lost out a lot of time to Tim, and here comes Tiger now in the Aston Martin. Will look to try and go down the inside, and down the inside he goes, promotes himself up into 2nd place, 4th place, sorry. And we'll be looking to make inroads on Tim, but Epic though, on the medium tyres, he'll be able to go longer in this race than those on the soft compounder tyre. I don't think anyone's on the super softs. So different strategies already.
Yeah. We have no incidents so far, that's a good thing. And... ooh, Epic. Really up close to Tiger. We try and put through.
Yeah, right.
Bit too far. Toussaint slowly catching up to Epic.
Yeah, Toussaint only 4/10ths behind Epic. And Finn staying with Dutchy, kind of losing a little bit of time to Tim. Tim's kind of keeping around the 4-second mark. Tiger 3 seconds behind Tim, so he's pulled out quite a bit of time on those guys behind. So this battle is kind of trains now for 4th place. And Wolfie actually getting pretty close behind Toussaint. Wolfie in the Porsche. The Porsche with that downforce will like this track, so we might actually see Wolfie making a move on Toussaint here into turn 1, down the start-finish straight with the slipstream. Does he have the straight line speed though? That Porsche not as quick as the Aston, even with slipstream, so struggling in a straight line, but that Porsche will be really nice to drive in the corners. Tiger though having to defend from Epic behind him. 2 Aston Martins, or 3 Aston Martins running in 4th, 5th and 6th. And sorry, Tiger's actually on the mediums as well. I did not realise that Tiger and Toussaint were on the medium tyres in this race. I completely forgot about that. So these 3 guys will be going longer in this race than those on the softs, like I mentioned earlier. Finn and Dutchy both on the soft tyres. Their tyre wear similar to one another, but you can see the mediums are faring better in terms of tyre wear. Obviously the times are different, obviously the soft tyres being the quicker compounded tyre, but the strategy will definitely be fun towards the end of the race.
Tyre wear, Finn and Dutch on this almost the same tyre wear. Actually, for the rears, the
someone's round. Oh. It's Epic. Epic's off into the gravel, and I'll just get a quick replay to see what happened to his car. I just heard the screamings of tyres, and then he's got into the curb on the grass and lost the rear of the Aston Martin. Hugely unfortunate for him. Drops him down to 8th place. And on those medium tyres isn't going to do his tyre wear too good. Now drops 19 seconds off the lead, so that's about 10 seconds he's lost to this battle for 4th place. Finn though has kind of dropped a bit behind Dutchy. He's lost 2 seconds, about 1.5 seconds to Dutchy, so I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he made a mistake at turn 1 or something in that area. Meanwhile, Toussaint trying to close in on his teammates. He does have Wolfie and Daniel Gardenzi behind him to keep an eye out. And we currently had 10 minutes gone in this race. We've got another 50 to go, and it might not be the best track in terms of overtaking, but in terms of strategy, it's going to be top quality. It's going to be like the F1 esports. You just have absolutely no idea what these guys are going to do. We might see someone like Toussaint or Tiger try and go for a medium potentially, if that's possible, or go for a medium soft, soft, potentially even get the hards out if the fuel can go to the end of the race. And running the ×5 tyre wear ×3 fuel consumption settings. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Quite well over here, and the battle for 5th is really close over here. Got Wolfie on the back of Toussaint.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Wolfie's best overtaking opportunity is probably down at turn 3.
Yeah.
Because you can see he's not gaining the time, even in the slipstream. That Porsche isn't gaining the time on the straight line, but in the corners it will be as planted as the Aston Martin, if not probably slightly better than the Aston Martin potentially. The Porsche being a fairly all-round decent car, but he does have the Audi of Daniel Gardenzi behind him, so he will be having to attack and defend at the same time.
Ted's in the gravel.
And a Ted down in the gravel at turn 1. We'll get a quick replay to see what quite happened to him. Yeah, so on board with him now into turn 1. I think he's just gone too late onto the brakes, misjudged his braking point, and is off. Down to 10th place though, and we'll be looking to try and close back the time to Scouting Ninja. Meanwhile, Daniel Gardenzi looking potentially for a move on Wolfie in his 2nd race. Wolfie also being a new driver after the race in Mount Panorama, and Wolfie's gone a little bit deep into the hairpin. That's going to allow Daniel Gardenzi to get a good run on him in the run down to turn 10, I think this is, maybe 12, but he's not quite close enough to make a move. But the Audi's still going to stick quite close behind the Porsche, as Wolfie's actually lost a little bit of time to Toussaint. 1.7 seconds now split them guys. Finn 3.7 seconds behind Dutchy. Similar events to what happened in Dragon Trail Gardens. You give Dutchy the lead and he's just going to storm off with it. On those soft tyres though, so on a different strategy to some of the others, the top 3 all on the soft compound of tyre. Daniel Gardenzi getting past Wolfie on the straight. That Porsche is really struggling in a straight.
Yeah.
Or potentially Wolfie could be in a lower engine mode and saving his fuel, not too sure. Comparing his fuel though with some of the others, he does have more fuel, so he might be saving a little bit of fuel. He might be in engine mode 2 or 3. But we've got a nice battle here for 6th place, forming between Daniel and Wolfie. Two
slapped by Dutchy.
And yeah, after what's this, 14 minutes, Dutchy already lapping cars. Just shows his pure pace at the moment. That man's really on fire.
Get up to Wolfie and Daniel Gardenzi's increase a bit. But he is gaining in the corners, Wolfie. Oh, no matter, those pretty close there.
And they have
straights is struggling so much.
They have lost a lot of time to Toussaint in front. 3.4 seconds is the gap to the former GT Sport champion, who won it last season. And we don't have many on track, but I think this battle for 6th are the closest 2 drivers. So we'll keep an eye on this. You can see already the tyre wear after 8 laps is really high. As speaking of tyre wear, Finn is into the pits.
Strategy he would go on.
I'm gonna say, is it the mediums or the softs? It's the super softs. Wow,
Really interesting
that
strategy.
is bold from
Yeah.
Finn. Those super softs aren't going to go as long. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 laps, maybe possibly 6 on those tyres.
You never know what these strategies can do.
All part of the Ferrari master plan, I suppose. But meanwhile, Tiger getting past Fefe, just lapping him there. Did I hear Tyre screaming? I don't know. I don't know.
It's just Finn's tyres.
But Finn's come out in 5th place behind Toussaint. There's quite a big different tyre.
Your mic's gone out. Okay, yeah, I'll just continue from here. So, Finn gaining on Toussaint now. Finn on the fresh super softs. Toussaint on half worn out mediums. But Toussaint's rare mediums have way less tyre wear than his front ones. I think the rear end of the last line of grip.
Sorry, I dropped my controller again. I need to stop doing that.
Finn's really close to Toussaint.
And Finn going down the inside of Toussaint, and I think he's going to concede that position. Finn on fresh super softs, and Toussaint on 2 tyre compounds harder on worn medium, so it's not really a battle worth fighting, and losing too much time in, and concedes a place to Finn, who's going to make a charge on his teammate, and Dutchy and Atom as well. Both of them stay out on those soft tyres. And I think Daniel Gardenzi also pit on that lap, pit for the soft tyres. So maybe, I was going to say we might have seen Wolfie react, but Wolfie stays out.
Wolfie may be going into the hards this race. I think he would extend or in the mediums.
Potentially, and I don't think the hard. I think the hards have been used once this season so far.
Fefe, yeah. Oh yeah, Fefe also on the hards. I think he started on it.
It's not been a common tyre choice this season, but Finn is closing in on Tiger. We'll just keep an eye on the Delta. Tiger on those worn mediums and Finn on the fresh. I say fresh, they're probably not going to be fresh for much longer. On the super soft tyres, the purple striped tyre, as Finn actually setting the fastest second sector, sorry, as he goes through the hairpin of turn 10 and is now 5/10 behind Tiger in front, and we'll be trying to get past him as soon as possible to try and close in the time. So Finn going for the aggressive strategy, more pit stops but on the faster compounds of tyre, as he's flashing his lights at the Aston Martin. He wants to get past. This is all for racing. Tiger hasn't pit yet, nor have the top 3, and probably getting a bit held up here by Tiger on those fresh tyres. He wants to get past as soon as possible so he can continue his hunt, and Dutchy goes down the inside into turn 17 and gets the move done up into 3rd place, and needs to find 6.7 seconds to close in on the back to Atom. Not an impossible task, obviously he hasn't pit yet, but he'll want to reduce that gap, especially to Dutchy in front, who's got a whopping lead, a 10-second lead to the car behind him, being his replacement teammate Atom, who is replacing Woody in today's race. As Epic, after his spin, has moved himself up into 6th place, getting past Wolfie. And goes 2.5 tenths quicker on his personal best time. Wolfie and Daniel Gardenzi, 2 teammates in the league. Wolfie yet still hasn't pit, and Daniel Gardenzi's caught up all of that time from the pit stop to his teammate. The Wolf Racing Team is what they've called themselves, the Audi and the Porsche drivers.
I think he's gone into another pair of mediums.
So interestingly, Ted on the mediums has pitted for another set of mediums, but Dutchy and Tim, both on the softs, have decided to stay out.
Been really gaining on Latin now. I think the gap was 6.7 something before. Now it's 4.2.
So those super softs really working for Finn.
Yeah.
Going on to that aggressive strategy as we mentioned at the start. And it's doing him well as play Dutchies into the pits.
See what strategy he will go on to.
And Tim decides to stay out, interestingly. So at him staying out on those soft tyres, where and what tyre will Dutchie come out onto? Finn goes ahead of Dutchie for the soft tyre. So if the soft tyres can do about 12 laps, let's say, then it could potentially be a 2 stop, as Dutchie getting back past Tiger getting him into turn 1, but Dutchie with the better grip, just getting past the Aston Martin driver. So 12 laps in 20 minutes on those soft tyres, so maybe a 36 lap race, and potentially seeing another stop from those who are pitting for soft tyres. So maybe the medium runners are doing a 2 stop, a 3 stops, no, 1 stop, sorry.
Yeah. It's got the gap down to 2 seconds now.
And
we'll utilise these super softs and try and make a bigger gap between Dutchie, so when he is maybe try and stay in front or closer.
And we talked about the different strategies coming into play. Finn closing down the gap to Atim. The gap now 1 second, 9 tenths, 8 tenths. You can count it down. That's how quick he's gaining on those super soft tyres. I would imagine Tim would be into the pits at the end of this lap. He's on some very worn soft tyres. Does not want to get a puncture if they even exist in this game. I have never seen anyone get a puncture. I've seen suspension damage caused by collisions, but I don't know if punctures are actually a thing. And Tim comes into the very tricky pit lane. Wants to be careful not to crash. And Tim into the pits. We'll just see what tyres he goes on to.
Maybe the softs can try to do the same.
And a Tiger follows him in from the mediums, interestingly. So just keep an eye on these two, as Epic and Daniel Gardenzia now having a battle. What is for 4th place, as Tim's actually going to come out just behind this battle. Daniel looking for a move. He's going to go for a move down the inside, and there's a little bit of contact, I think. I'm not too sure. I'll just get a replay quickly from Daniel Gardenzi's on board, who can see Tiger at him coming out the pits. Daniel goes for it down the inside, and there was a little bit of contact between those two. Nothing too major though. Epic still holds on to 4th place, but these guys are going to have a very rapidly moving Atim behind in the Toyota. Daniel looking for a move potentially round the outside, has left the door wide open for Tim to go down the inside, but Tim's lost it and had a half spin on the exit of turn 7, I think that is.
That's going to cost him dear, as Daniel Gaudenzi on the back of Epic.
Just getting on the throttle a little bit too early. Cost him a few tenths, but he's caught up to the back of Daniel Gardenzi now. And we'll be looking to try and hunt him down and gain more time on the fresh tyres.
Oh, Epic getting really slidey.
And I thought
that's just brought the gap to Daniel closer.
Unfortunate for Tim, he's kind of been stuck behind this battle on those fresh tyres.
Yeah.
For his strategy to work, he needs to get in front of these guys as quickly as possible.
Like Finn.
And yeah, Finn actually done a good job to get find his way through the traffic pretty quickly. At him, almost pushing Daniel through the fast right-hander. And we're going to have another. We've got a 3-way fight for 4th place here. And something moved on my screen. I don't know what it was. I thought I saw a position change, but does Tim now going to look for a move down the inside? Daniel leaves him the space, but Tim not close enough on the move. The Audi getting very twitchy. We saw Jojo Power lose the rear of the Audi a few times last season. Epic as well has caught up to the back of Toussaint, who's got really bad tyre wear on the front of his tyres. And
yeah.
Has Epic pit in this race?
But the rear is doing really well with the Aston Martin.
Has Epic pitted?
No, not yet. He's still on mediums.
So
Wait,
just comparing the
Simon-
tyre wear between Toussaint and Epic, there's a massive difference between the tyres.
Yeah.
But Epic will be trying to make a move on Toussaint. Daniel Gardenzi though eyeing up a move on Epic. Meanwhile though, Tim going down the inside of the Audi, and those guys are going to go side by side. And Tim,
four-way battle here for third.
Tim not quite close enough. He needs to get in front of these three guys as quickly as possible. Epic going for a move down the inside of Toussaint, but that leaves the door open for Daniel Gardenzi, and could potentially see Epic try go for a move on Toussaint. A little bit of contact, goes wide. Toussaint now going to try the switch back. Tim behind him going for a move down the inside of Daniel, and Epic moves his way up into third place. Toussaint couldn't defend on those worn mediums. Tim getting up into fifth place as well in the Toyota on those fresh soft tyres, and is going to try and go round the outside of Toussaint. A really good move on those fresh tyres, using the traction to his advantage. Toussaint into the pits, but meanwhile Tim on the back of Epic, he's going to have the slipstream and is going to go for it. He's going to pull over to the inside, late braking down the inside of the Aston Martin, gets himself up into third place and finally gets his way through the traffic.
Took a bit of time, but you got there in the end.
But Epic not going to give this one up. He's going to look for it down the inside. Tim leaves him the room, but not quite close enough to send one down the inside. Turn 3, it seems to be a pretty common overtaking place, as Dutchy has caught up to the back of Finn. Toyota versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep an eye on this, as well as
Dutchy will gain a lot in the corners.
And Daniel Gardenzi as well, looking for a move on Epic. Not going for anything yet. He is on the better tyre. Those fresher soft tyres. Meanwhile, still got the battle for the lead. Play Dutchy, looking for a move on Finn. Finn on those really worn super soft tyres have only really lasted him a few laps in this race, but they're going to go side by side into the final corner. Finn leaving Dutchy enough room on the outside. Dutchy though is going to tuck into the slipstream of Finn. Finn goes defensive to the inside, but pulls back over to the normal racing line. Dutchy though sends one down the inside, and Finn doesn't have the tyre wear to fight back, but he might try and get a good run through turn 1 and 2 and fight back Dutchy actually. And Finn in the Ferrari on those worn super soft tyres, going to try and go round the outside of turn 3, but doesn't have the grip to fully send one. Tiger getting past Daniel Gardenzi, who's coming into the pits. So did Daniel make a mistake? Because he dropped back a long way from Tiger. I'm not too. I know he's into the pits, but I think he made a mistake before that. Meanwhile, Tiger and Epic going side by side down to turn 3.
Go down the inside of Epic. Nice move.
And now Tiger on those fresher soft tyres goes up into 4th place and has at him 3 seconds in front. Daniel coming out of the pits on a fresh set of soft tyres, and Toussaint actually coming out in 7th place, so we're never really going to know what the strategy is going to be like until the end of the race.
Finn's consumed a lot of his fuel. I think he's going to have to pit.
Yeah, he will. It's kind of actually worked out well for Finn. He also get a chance to refuel and change possibly onto the soft tyres.
Maybe if you pit, you can still get in front of Atom.
Potentially the gap 23.5 seconds, so we'll just keep an eye on whether he comes into the pits this lap. And he does. Finn into the pits, and so close to the barrier, actually spinning into the pit lane. Thank God there's the game to thank God it takes over. But Toussaint closing in a gap to Wolfie in front. The gap 1.6 tenths, 1.4 now. 1.6 seconds, sorry, 1.3. Now only 1.2, so Toussaint finding the grip on those fresh soft tyres and crash into the pit lane and completely blow up the front of his car. That's why I went quiet, because I was like, oh my God,